TIFU by forgetting that the mobile phone I use for job searching had my voicemail telling employers to go fuck themselves. Obligatory didn't he fuck up today, but I realized the fuck up today. Pretty short and sweet but nonetheless painful to think about. I've had my mobile for a good 4/5 years, and when I first got it in college I jokingly recorded a voicemail telling the caller, and I quote, "Hey, you fucking idiot. I ain't available, so stop calling, put the phone down and talk to me in person. Fuck off." Classy, I know, but it was only meant as an inside joke between me and friends. I didn't know that it was said so that anybody that called me would hear it. I also completely forgot about it and didn't change it for years. Fast forward to today, the horror on my face as I realize that these past few years, as I get calls from potential employers / interviewees / assistants about work, they've all been greet to my message. I am going to go and die now, thanks. TLDR, told countless employers to fuck off, probably missed out on a lot of jobs. TIFU by moving across the fucking planet. This is happening in real time. Complicated situation, so apologies for the length. I am a 21-year-old trying to get a career in banking. An opportunity came up for an unpaid internship in Singapore. I thought, who wouldn't want to spend a few months in Singapore? New alcohols, criminally cheap massages and Asian food. The fuck up started when the time came to speak to someone. Leaving the airport I flagged a cab and spent about 5 minutes trying to communicate where my apartment was. It turns out Singaporeans speak English. They know English, but they speak it with such a heavy accent and so much slang it's indecipherable to a piece of uncultured white trash like me. I've gotten really good at the smiling and nodding technique whenever someone questions me. It turns out Singapore is ranked the most expensive city to live in the world via Time magazine, and there are no cheap massages. I knew it was a major city, but I figured there would be some places on the outskirts that were more affordable. I spent the first week eating nothing but McDonald's. Thank God, the holy arches are all over in this damn world, until I found this little rice/noodle stand that will sell plates for a few bucks. The first day the old Chinese lady who mans the stand thought she could scam the dumb American, but after 5 minutes of animated bargaining I got the price down. Way better than McDonald's. The company I am interning with apparently ran out of space in their main office, so they plopped my ass in a dinky little satellite office. The first week I did some work on a project for them that apparently they didn't like, because I have not heard from them for 2 weeks. I sent a few emails and texts to my contacts who are at the main office, who just said there is a lot going on for them ATM. To make matters worse, I found a friend from America a few days into the trip, and we had been having a good time trying local bars out and attempting to flirt with local girls in the evenings. Well, a few nights ago we had a bit much to drink and decided it would be a good idea to take a dip in the fountain outside our apartment. After a few minutes of fun, a patrol car flies up and a pair of officers jumps out yelling at us in what might have been English. I booked it without thinking nothing but my sopping wet boxers. I tried calling my friend after the incident and legitimately have not heard from him for 3 days now. So now I am stuck on the other side of the fucking world, no idea what I am doing here, no real job, the only source of sustenance is a Chinese lady with a grudge, and my only friend is presumably rotting in a Singaporean dungeon. TLDR, I took an internship in Singapore, can't understand anyone, my company ghosted me and my only friend was taken by the cops. Edit 1. Yes everyone. I realize I am an uncultured American swine. If there are any local girls willing to educate me, I'll be at the local McDonald's. Edit 2. Shit guys, half the TIFU Reddit lives in Singapore apparently. For the record, I love Prime Minister Lee and all of you for offering to help. The internet can be wholesome sometimes. TIFU by setting 2 of my friends up on a blind date. Obligatory. This happened in the last 2 weeks. One of my friends 17M was talked about how he wants a girlfriend again a few months ago. I was the patient listener and very open when he asked if I knew any cute girls. I thought it was a strange talk for us to have, considering the fact that I disagree with his frequent encounters of the bedroom kind with various girls, but nevertheless I kept my eye out. Then about a month ago one of my friends, 17F, mentioned she had a massive crush on my friend. This was perfect, he's attractive, she's attractive, it totally worked on the superficial level. All I had to do now was to introduce them. They chatted over text. She doesn't have social media at the moment, and they met up 2 weeks later. I don't generally endorse the blind dating thing, but I hoped it would work out. The official date happened about 2 weeks ago. They went to a little restaurant around the corner from her high school. She texted me immediately after saying it was great. They ordered food, walked around, and in typical behavior he initiated and they made out. I just assumed everything went well. The next weekend they hung out again. That is until she called me afterwards crying. She told me that they'd been talking, and she told him she thought the date was going well, and he had replied with something along the lines of I don't know. Ive had better laughed, and then, because let's face it, you are fucking disgusting. You re so ugly. I don't know why /___________________ paired us up. I mean, I am leagues ahead of you. If I am not getting any, it's not worth it. I am not gonna fucking marry you. And then left. I was so shocked I thought she was kidding. Spoiler alert, she wasn't. I texted him immediately and asked him what the hell he was doing. He told me that he didn't care how she felt because she should have known he was out of her league and he only wanted sex. And that he hated her eyes because it made her look Asian. I wasn't expecting it, but it made me really angry and stupid for pairing them up in the first place. Of course, I couldn't know how much of a racist dick he was because he's never acted like that before, but still. I get that he is definitely the worst in this situation, but still. I paired them up and she's still upset about that. I feel fucking terrible for the way he treated her. TLDR, I was a dumb teenager and paired 2 of my friends up on a date. The guy ended up being a misogynistic racist jerk. TIFU by shaving my legs. So I was in the shower shaving my legs. I was going quickly and carelessly when I felt a sharp pain in my foot and noticed I had cut myself. Thinking it was nothing, I shouted for my sister to get a band-aid. I was wrong. So wrong. The blood started gushing by the bucket load and it wouldn't stop. The shower looked like a crime scene. My sister came in with the band-aid, took one look and rushed to get a medical kit. Luckily she has first aid training and knew what to do. But there was so much blood. It spilled onto the floor when she asked me to come out and sit on the toilet lid so she could treat it, and I was naked too. Even though we were both girls, I still felt a bit uncomfortable. She ended up spending half an hour just getting the blood to stop. The whole time I was trying not to panic. I am prone to panic attacks and this was freaking me the fuck out. Especially since the room now looked like someone had been murdered. Eventually the blood did stop, so she bandaged up my foot and we started to clean up the room. But of course that's when my dad wanted his shower. We told him not to go in because blood, but he insisted he could clean up during his shower. He must have underestimated the sheer volume of blood though, because he had a mini heart attack when he saw that room. He did keep his word and cleaned up, but he was stunned. I later cleaned my razor and found a massive chunk of skin lodged in there. No wonder there was so much blood. To add insult to injury, I hadn't shaved my other leg yet. TLDR, I shaved my legs and cut myself. Needed half an hour to get the bleeding to stop. Dad wanted a shower before we could clean up. TIFU by telling my family I was raped last year. TW sexual assault obviously. So my family goes on one vacation every year. It's always been my mom, dad, brother and me, but this year my brother's bringing his girlfriend too. I was raped my freshman year of college. It took me a while to even call it rape. It wasn't until this March, a year and a half later, that I even said the word rape out loud. Obviously I never told my parents because I didn't even know that was what had happened. I mean, I knew what had happened, it just wasn't until I told the story to my therapist and she was like, you know, that's literally rape, right, that I put two and two together. Anyway. So as I've grown more comfortable with it and calling it what it was, I've been talking about it more. I told my current boyfriend about it. I told the girl that was with me that night what had actually happened. Just hadn't told my mom yet. We have a good relationship, it's just hard to say those kinds of things to your mom sometimes. We flew in last night. Today at dinner, sexual assault happened to come up as I'm part of an organization at my college that works with a resource center. My brother, being the stupid idiot devil's advocate he is, decided to bring up the why not just fight back thing, and his girlfriend was like, yeah, if I ever found myself in the situation I know how to defend myself. Here's the thing, I did too. I'm very capable. But in the moment that it happened to me, it's like I was frozen. I've been dealing with a lot of that guilt, with coming to terms with the fact that when it really came down to it I was powerless. So that struck a nerve. So I, forgetting where I was and who I was talking to, launched into my spiel about how you never really know how you're gonna react until something happens. You can say you'll do this or that, but when it comes down to the wire there's no telling. And I slipped up and let it slip and said, well, Dad taught me how to punch as well as you and I still got raped, so that's not a valid argument. Silence. I quickly tried to fill in the details, that it was a while ago, that I'm fine and I'm dealing with it and everything's okay, but the damage was done. My mother's face. She was heartbroken. My dad too. My brother and his girlfriend had no idea what to do. I had no idea what to do. So I tried to steer us toward another topic and eventually, with like 10 minutes of coaxing, got everyone to join me in discussing the most recent Aladdin movie. But obviously what was done was done. We were supposed to go shopping around and look at the town after that, but we just went back to the hotel. My mom's been crying, my dad's silent. Luckily I'm in a different room, it's me and my brother's GF in one room, my parents and brother in the other. When I asked what time I needed to get up and ready for hiking tomorrow, my mom said to just not worry about it, she thinks we should all sleep in. I know it wasn't wrong to tell them. It was just such bad timing and I wish I'd held my tongue, because now I may have just ruined our whole vacation. This is the one time a year we're all together. I think I may go over there to their room and try to talk about it more, but I don't want to make them more upset. So I'm stuck, I guess. Sorry, this one isn't really funny. Just needed to vent, I guess. TLDR, accidentally told my family I'd been raped and ruined our family vacation. Edit, because I didn't think this would get so much attention. Just wanted to thank you all for your kind words. It means a lot. I was gonna go through and reply to everyone individually, but I worried that might come off as insincere, since it would be mostly the same words over and over again, but I am reading all of your comments and the support really does mean a lot to me. I haven't talked about it a lot, but to be met with such understanding is a huge deal for me. So thank you. And not that I owe anyone this or the details of my assault, but yes, it was rape. I was repeatedly saying no and stop. I was crying when I stumbled out. And I was covered in blood from forced penetration, and because when it happened I was a virgin. The reason I didn't know if it was rape was because, funnily enough, I made excuses for him. He was a Russian exchange student, so I just told myself he didn't know what no and stop meant, despite the fact that we'd had a perfectly coherent conversation beforehand and his English was very good, not to mention no and stop are very basic words. I actually often told it as a funny party story about this crazy situation I'd been in, where this weird Russian guy didn't know the English word for no. 70% of the time I was the only one laughing. I didn't remember the crying, I thought I just walked out casually, but my roommate, who had been searching for me when we'd disappeared recently, told me I was bawling my eyes out and shaking. I remember the blood and the pain, but Never thought rape was something that would ever happen to me because I always thought I would fight back, so since I didn't fight back it couldn't have been rape, even though now I know it obviously was. I was just trying to come up with every excuse why such a horrible thing didn't happen to me even though it did. Cognitive dissonance, man. Also, my brother wasn't deliberately trying to be an asshole. He does know better, he was more bringing it up as a way to get me to debate him. I think all of us know it's not that simple, and they both felt bad, and it definitely wasn't an intentional dig. My family is very supportive, like someone else said, they just need time to process.